All right, well, you guys just saw live action here. We've got 97 miles in this tank of fuel, and we have not towing this trailer more than half the time, probably more like 50-something miles, 55, maybe 60. We're not even ticked off of full yet, so I'm very pleased with this Titan 52-gallon tank. All of these modifications are working extremely well together. As you guys heard in the video, there is a lot of wind out here. Look at that tree waving around. There is a good bit of wind, and I need to keep it straight. But nevertheless, we do have to have a little bit of steer into this thing. It is beautifully aligned, but the kryptonite suspension and steering has made a huge difference in towing. I will say empty, it's certainly better, but no matter what you do, you just can't make GM IFS ride very good. But towing, it is much more confident, much more stable, and much less noises. I'm sure that there were some parts that were loose up there. It's got new kryptonite ball joints, upper control arm, a new lower A arm, so new bushings there, and of course the new upper control arms have new bushings, and the full steering system. So there's a lot of money in kryptonite parts put in this truck, and when you're towing, it shows. When it's empty, it's just quiet. I will say that it just doesn't compare to a straight axle in terms of the capability of even a stock Super Duty. Just rides better than this. But the confidence is far improved from what this truck was when I first got it, which was basically 100% stock. I believe it had stock ball joints, stock tie rod ends. I think everything was stock up front, and we have made a huge improvement. As you can see, we are bouncing around a little bit. There's a decent bit of tongue weight on here. I do have Timbrens on this truck. I love the concept of Timbrens. I had them in my previous Super Duty. Super Duties just have so much more rear leaf spring travel, which is why they sag more than other vehicles. Timbrens directly transfer the impact into the frame, which means into your butt. They're cheap. They do the job. But I will not say that they are the most comfortable things in the world. And like with this truck, with limited leaf spring travel, it is not the most comfortable thing in the world. The check engine light is still here. It is not PPE's fault, PPEI's fault. I have failed to send out the data log to them because I've been busy. All it is a code 101 for a MAF scaling. It's not going to break the truck. We're not that worried about it. So don't worry about that. It's not anything important. I can see all of my data right here if you guys want to watch. Here, I'll stand down a little bit. The big number, of course, is RPM. The number below it is EGTs. Fuel rail pressure is at 23,000, so we have tons of fuel rail pressure. Trans temp is at 171. Boost is 6 right now. Engine oil pressure is top left. We got gear on the bottom. Intake air temp, and then I think we're like pre-turbo and then post intercooling are the two temps right there, 86 and 104. That just kind of gives you an idea of the delta between the two. When you compress the air, it makes heat. So, I believe we are running quite well. I wanted to do a little bit of a video on how the Duramax is doing. It is doing very, very well. The trailer brake controller is absolutely excellent. This is the one that Jacob over at American Automotive recommended to me. Check out his channel. He's got just tons of tech and motorcycle stuff, and he's got a Camaro 1LE he makes videos on, and he has a 7.3 Super Duty too. So make sure you give him some love too. He makes some really awesome videos, and I really think he should be a whole lot bigger than he's been so far. So definitely check him out. He knows exactly what he's talking about as well. He is a great truck operator and user, and he is a very knowledgeable person in terms of electrical related things. And again, great recommendation. The trailer brake controller, Jacob, works perfect. We are doing good. I'm so happy that this truck is back and running perfect, and all these upgrades are working swimmingly together. The next thing we're going to have to take a look at is, I like music, and this thing is the original radio. You have to just turn the volume down because the power button doesn't work, and it doesn't have aux or Bluetooth. We're going to have to remedy that situation with a double DIN. So we have some tunes. Maybe we can find one that you can hook to your phone and play movies or something. That might be fun. I will look into that because I really like listening to tunes on the road, and this truck is really a mile eater. It's so comfy and easy to drive and just does a great job. By comfy, I mean the seats are fairly comfy, but you definitely feel the road. I did put body mounts on this, so it has brand new S&B body mounts. They were super expensive, but I do think that they made at least some difference. I don't really notice almost any noises anymore relating to steering or body, like rubber components with movement. everything has basically been replaced, isolated, and we should be good to go. So I wanted to show you guys the actual, use performance of all these modifications. I think that the Duramax is a lot better than it was. The 5-position switches right here. We are running the 60 horse tune, which is the economy tune, if I'm not mistaken. It has a really nice rumble. So all the rest of the tunes have a similar rumble except for 5, which is much smoother, which means it probably has a larger pilot injection, and 1, which is supposed to be heavy toe. So I find that interesting that tune 5, and I'm gonna have to ask them why. Tune 5 has that same smooth idle where the rumble greatly increases on all the other tunes. I don't know why. It's worth asking to find out why tune 5, which is the spiciest 200 horsepower tune, and yes, I did run it. I'm going to enjoy this trans some before I, waste it on, the 200 horse tune. It does a really nice job. This truck feels, how can I say this? Right now, it feels maybe a step or two below my stock 2019 6.7. It's good. It's not nearly as powerful as that truck, which is right about what a 60 horse tune on a 360 horse truck. We're talking like 420 or something. So we're a step down from, the 450 horse. 450 and 936 was what my 2019 was. I think that we're in the ballpark, but we're not there. Just a little bit down on it. The 100 horse tune feels really good. These tunes feel really good, and we're going to compare them, but I really want to put some more shakedown miles before I go abusing the truck. We only have 209 miles since all these changes. I want to really put some miles on the truck, make sure we don't have any boost leaks or anything else going on. I think with the fuel economy we're getting, let's see here. Where's our fuel range, or fuel used? Where's our economy? 15.2 towing this trailer the whole time this has been up. So there's no data before that 15.2 is the entire, whatever this trip is. Sorry, guys. This trip towing, I reset it when I took off with the trailer. So probably like 60 miles or so, an average. So 15.2 is pretty good for, towing this trailer. There's a good bit of windage with the ramps. The ramps do have expanded metal on them. Expanded metal acts like, literally plate steel at speed. Air does not go through the expanded metal very good, but it's really nice for loading different things up there and walking up so you don't twist your ankle walking up the ramps. The expanded metal is nice, but it's not aerodynamic. So I think we're in good shape. The AC is working beautifully, and we need that right now. We don't have the HEPA filtration in this like Cybertruck has, but that is okay because the character that the 2007 LBZ Duramax has, it brings me back to being a kid. My dad, if you guys have been watching this channel, you know that I got this because I grew up in one of these. My dad bought a Chevy Silverado version of an LBZ. And, a lot of my childhood memories were in an LBZ. So I wanted to get one for myself, and I always wanted to do exactly what we've done to this in terms of proper front-end modification. Will we add airbags in the future? I don't know. The Timbrens are fine. They were kind of expensive now for what they are, in my opinion. So maybe I'll find a new home for them and put airbags on here. I don't know. But the full piping kit from WC Fab. If we need to in the future, we'll put a built trans on in this truck. And when we do that, it'll definitely get a bigger turbo and a bigger intercooler or a better intercooler. And hopefully we'll be in the 700 horse to 800 horse range on this truck. But I want to enjoy it the way it is right now with the trans that it has for as long as I can. And then we'll worry about a next phase of this thing later on. So if you guys are interested in seeing the phases of this truck evolve and me continuing to work with this truck, hopefully we're going to go on a long voyage to bring these tubes up to my cabin, where I really want to find out how far I can go on a tank of fuel. I'm super excited about that. As you can see, we have about 99.5 miles, as funny as that is, since my fill up, and we still have not budged the needle, and we've been towing most of the time. So I am extremely excited to see what a full tank of fuel feels like in this. I'm hoping it's for sure up to 900 and maybe over 900. That would be really cool to be able to go that far without ever fueling up. I am super looking forward to that. Let me know if you guys want to see that too. We'll do a long road trip, probably towing in this. We'll see just how far we can go. Be cool to be over 800 miles when towing. That would be pretty sweet. Take care all and have a phenomenal day.